Hello, thank you for tuning in to Grrrl Uninterrupted. On this episode, we'll be talking about coming in to who we are. My name is Lisa, and I am a bisexual woman, and I am also 25 years old.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Thais. I am bisexual and I'm also 25. No, no, you're 25.
Hello, my name is Shamari. I am bisexual and I'm also 25.
Hi, my name is Dev. I'm gay and I'm 26.
Hi, my name is Camila. I'm 24 and I identify as queer.
Thank you guys so much for being here
Of course.
and talking about all this stuff with me. Okay, so we're going to start it off with a question of when did you finally come into who you are? When did you come into your sexuality? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I guess when I was like 21 years old, I had like this feeling like, you know what, I need to be true to myself and I like women because I was dating men at the time. And it was scary, but I actually watched The L Word, which helped me a lot to be comfortable with my sexuality. And then that's when I started dating women, and then that's when I started being sexually involved with women. And that's when I realized, okay, you know what? This is what I prefer to do, and this is what I like to do.
I guess we always know that we're queer. We've always really known that. We always known that we were different. But I think that I accepted it finally when I was 14, 15 years old. And it was when I met this girl and she was just extremely fucking gay. And she was like extremely like the stereotypical like basketball player, you know, at school, the popular one that everybody liked, and I just fucking fell. And I was on her ass like white on rice. So like it was not even something that I could run away from. But I did always know I liked men as well, because I felt the same way that I felt about men with women, because me and my friends would talk about guys all the time, but some of my friends I like, you know, some of the girls I actually like. So yeah, so that's when I realized it, and my process of accepting it was kind of weird. I was in denial for a little while. I didn't really want to tell people about it, and my friends would ask, and I would kind of shy away from it. But once I met her and I knew what it would what it meant for me to like actually come out and say, okay, I like you, and she's already known and she's already comfortable with her sexuality, it was just a done deal then.
Was she older than you?
Yes.
By how much?
I was a sophomore in high school and she was a senior.
Okay.
So she
was already kind of, she was, okay.
She knew for sure. So
okay.
she kind of helped me with that process because I had to get over it, basically.
Okay. And so in the way, is that how you think that you transitioned into accepting that? Because she helped you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was more so, it wasn't her helping me through the process. It was more so everyone else asking me the questions. Like, you around this girl. So, exactly. You're around her and she wears, like, basketball shorts. Yeah. And she's playing basketball and she's obviously gay. Are you? And I wasn't going to say no because I wanted her to like me. So it was kind of like an acceptance thing because I knew what I wanted at that time. So what was your experience?
My first sexual experience was with a woman. And it threw me off because I thought that I could only like men. And that's what I was taught growing up. And she was my best friend. And so after that, things kind of got awkward because we didn't know how to accept that.
How old were you?
I was 13.
Okay.
I was also into men as well, but I would find women extremely attractive. I would find their energy absorbing. And it led me to kind of accept that it's okay to be attracted to women. And so I moved to Miami and I fell for this girl, like completely head over heels. I don't know what she did to me, but she really had a hold on me. And after that, that's when I truly accepted that I am attracted to both men and women, but something a little bit more deeper than that. I'm attracted to anyone's soul, and if it ties with mine.
What was yours?
Oh man, I had always known that I didn't like women, but I mean, it's, when you know, you know.
Yeah, right.
I felt like I knew. I just knew I didn't like women. And growing up, I grew up in a very Christian household, and you know, regardless of where you're from, there are many situations as a homosexual, coming out can be very safe, and then coming out can be extremely dangerous.
Sure.
And I wasn't ready to drop a bombshell like that on my family. I didn't want the drama, to be honest. But people had their suspicions, but nothing concrete. My friends definitely were aware that I had these feelings, but I think the age that I really just settled with it was like when I started high school, maybe like 16, 17 years old. I felt like had strong feelings for a friend of mine, and it was just like, you know what, this is the way I am. It was definitely a process for me because I wanted people to know. I just didn't want to just kick the door and just boom. Ah!
Yo, I'm gay.
I didn't want to do that. I just wanted people to know. So I actually came out on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
I just wrote, I can't lie to you guys anymore. I am gay. And I just closed the computer.
What about
Yeah.
you, Camila?
So I think I had a different experience that I'm still working with. Now I'm thinking back to my childhood and wondering, like, maybe I was queer all along and I didn't really allow myself to even think about it. I didn't even really think about it as a child, and like I really was conditioned to like men growing up, and I just thought it was normal. And like I moved to from Brazil to Miami when I was 6 years old, and from then on it was like a process of trying to fit in. And I went to high school where like people really weren't like me, and I was trying hard to be accepted, so anything different was bad. So like there were gay people in my school, but I like really shunned away from everything that was different. And then finally I went to an all-women's college by accident.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
how did that
How
happen?
do you accidentally go to an all-women's college?
So I went to Wellesley College, but it was, I didn't even know about it when I applied, and then I got in. It's a great school, they gave me great financial aid, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And there was quite a big gay community, or a loud gay community at least. And it felt normal, or it felt accepted. And by my senior year of college, it took me a while, but by my senior year of college, like, I was, like, exploring this scene, and I met incredible women, and I realized that that's part of my sexuality, and that when it was acceptable, I let myself go there. But I really don't think I would have if I went to another college that didn't have that.
Must have been exhilarating just being surrounded by all those women.
Yeah, it was cool.
That sounds amazing.
Not having to deal with it. Be surrounded. That's just so, for real. It is freeing to not have to deal with that type of stuff. Like, misogyny is no joke. Okay, so the other question is, when did you allow friends and family to officially know who you are?
Some of them still don't know.
What? Well, wait till you watch this. My sister went through my phone, and that's how she found out. Like she always
And she blasted
knew.
you, didn't she?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
no,
that's a
no,
good sister.
I got dirt on her, so she can't do that.
Right.
But like, she's nosy. She went through my phone. She's like, "What the hell?" And then she like, "You gay?" I'm like, "Don't tell my mom." She's like, "We already know, but like, you're so gay." And like, my mom found out. I feel bad because I never like sat down and told her. She found out because I had my girlfriend, who I'm with now, living with me at my mom's house, and like she was living with us for like a couple of months. But to be honest, she's in my room all day. We locked the door. What do you think is happening? Like,
Did she think you guys were like just really close friends?
she was in denial. She had to be because
okay.
it was obvious.
Yeah,
It was super obvious that we were more than just friends. So once I moved out, my mom finally realized, okay, you move into a 1-bedroom apartment. Okay, that's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I feel bad. I should have like sat down and actually talked to her. But she's like before she thought it was a phase when she finally realized it. But she's slowly understanding that this is who I am. She still loves me regardless, and I love her for that, for accepting me. I never told my dad because he doesn't live here. He lives in a different continent, to be honest, in a different country. And when I do see him, I do plan to tell him. It's a very sensitive topic to discuss over the phone, and I want to be face to face with him. But I feel like he will, at the end of the day, he will still love me because I'm his only child. So And I have a great relationship with my father. But yeah, that's my story. And like my friends, I don't really care how my friends think. I tell them it's just my family. I'm very like sacred with, and I want to make sure that I'm ready to tell them, and they're okay, and they're ready to hear what I have to say. But I don't care about my friends.
Don't care
I don't care how they
All right,
think.
well,
If they want to be, if they still want to be my friend afterwards, that's cool. If not, I don't care. Yo, you can just bounce. Yeah.
I find it hard to find people like in the communities that I'm in that are gonna reject me for who
Yeah.
I am. Like in our generation, I feel like we're doing okay.
I mean, I'm more open-minded, a lot more understanding to these sort of things. You realize?
Well, I would like to think so, but in Mississippi, for example, I went to college at a predominantly white institution, and when I'm passing, like I'm bisexual, you can't look at me and tell that my sexuality is different. And that's a blessing, and I understand it's also a privilege. So, I mean, that's that. But I did have plenty of other friends who, especially a male friend who was queer, who is queer, and he dressed differently. And you can easily look at him and see that he's different. And them motherfuckers treated him like shit. He will walk down fraternity row and they would yell out, faggot, nigger faggot. They would just do him so wrong. And whenever we did try to have like different parties and stuff that were specifically for queer people on that campus, they would drive by and throw things. In places like Miami, of course, this is like gay capital, one of the gay capitals, so it is, but there are so many places in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi that it's not that easy, and coming out is a fucking struggle.
Right.
And so it is in Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville now is starting to become hip, I guess, to the idea of, oh, there's queer people in our community. But growing up, it was, in a way, forbidden. You see a queer person walking down the street, and you can tell that they're queer. And people would just look at them so differently, as if they were beneath them. And that's why I moved to Miami. Like, part of the reason, just to be more amongst like diverse people, because I couldn't take it anymore. I could not.
So what was it with your family? Like, how did it happen with your family, with letting them into who you are?
My mom doesn't know. My mom, my parents don't know that I was ever or am interested in both sexualities. And the only person that knows is my sister. My aunt, I reached out to her when I had that really big crush on that girl that I met here. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, I had just gotten out of an extremely toxic relationship, like abusive in every way you can think of. And it was with a man. And she showed me a side of a person that I haven't seen before. And I really gravitated towards that. And then I called my aunt, and I was like, I think I love her, you know? And she was like, it's okay to love her. It's okay to love whomever you want. Like, it's your body, your mind, your soul. And if that person, you know, is it for you, then, you know, it is what it is. But she broke my heart like 2 weeks ago, so fuck that.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Hashtag fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
And I think it was because she knew that I was involved in my past with both, like men and women.
Oh, so that's
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
my
because
God.
that's the
she's
thing.
straight sexual
Hashtag super
women.
fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of there's a lot of that in the queer community of bisexuality or pansexuality not being seen as like a thing that you're confused or you're just doing whatever it is that you want to do, and that's not okay.
I think that's what it was. She was afraid that I wasn't ready or willing to
Serious?
commit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was serious about it. But she honestly never gave me the chance to fully express myself to her like that, because I was kind of hiding it because I didn't know how to tell her, like, I think I love you and I would like to take this a step further than just talking.
I think it's interesting that like when gay people take their gayness and try to work it into the framework of heteronormativity, like this is traditional, like and then they bisexuality or pansexuality becomes this like crazy like outside of tradition thing where like you're not doing the right thing. And I mean, this is all the right thing. Like
I can give you grandbabies with a woman, You know, so transitioning that mindset for them, that's my goal. Because whether I end up with a woman or a man, I would like my family to accept that. Because you have to, like, in this day and age. So,
well, for me, my sister and my cousin kind of went through the trenches for me. They had already came out, and in my southern fucked up ass, wannabe Christian ass family that I love. That I love.
That she loves. Don't forget.
That I do.
She does love
really,
them.
really do love.
Sheesh.
They just went ham. They treated them like shit. They went through. They went through. And my sister, my oldest sister, she is bisexual. So it was easy kind of like identifying it, but I never had a word for it because they always used the word gay. They didn't use bisexual.
Same.
And I don't think that she had the word for it at that time either. But since I don't have my mother or my dad, I didn't really have to tell them. When I told my dad, I was like venting through a text message to him a couple of months before he passed away of lung cancer, and I never got to hear his response. Like, it wasn't like a conversation. And with my mom, I was never able to do that because she passed away when I was 14. So I didn't really have that. But to my sister, who raised me after my mother passed away, I did let her know. I did let her know that that the girl that I liked was it for me. Like, I really did love her. And it was a fucked up ass situation that I ended up telling her about because I had just gotten like my wrist twist because the girl was mad at me about something. Yeah, so I'm like crying to my sister, and she's like, "What's going on? Why are you guys fighting?"
That situation happened, and then
she picked me up from the situation, and she's like, "Why are you crying so much? Why are you going through this with a friend? Friends don't do this. Why are you like, what is this? Like, this is not. This ain't what it's supposed to be." And I was like, well,
and that's how she found out.
Chandra, I like her. I really do. And I'm in this really weird situation, and I like her. And all she said was okay. No, actually it was. What do you mean you like her? And then I said, well, I like her. I just said it again. Like they clarified anything. But I was like, well, I just like her. And so she was like, okay.
I was ready.
Are you done? But she was like, okay. So my family does know, but it's like through my sister, and I'm lucky enough that I did miss, I don't know if that's a lucky thing, but I did miss the whole thing of having to tell my parents of doing that. Okay, so the next question is, outside of family and friends and yourself, so once you got to the point that, all right, I know who I am, I know what I like, I'm going to inform my friends and my family about who I am, and I'm going to let them into my life with this whole thing. How do you walk outside of your family and friends into an environment that you really can control? The people who may not give a fuck about you. So this includes people at work, you know. How do you deal with your difference of loving in different environments?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
It clicked with all of us.
Well, because mine's really short. When I'm at work, I do have some older women, black women, who are, Christian Bible thumpers or whatever, and they don't really care for homosexuality. So when they make little jokes and they know that I like women, it'd be so offensive, but I just let it go. And I'll just not say anything. And I don't know, I shut down when I'm with those type of people. So, because I'm at work and I don't want to go off. And it's the time for place for that. And I feel like, you know what, let me not even indulge in that. So I just let it go.
But how do you feel about that though?
Of course I feel bad. I feel sad. Sometimes I don't care. I really don't care majority of the time. But sometimes they be really saying some stuff. And I'm like, yo.
Do you think they do it on purpose?
No, they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
They're just doing it just to be funny and of course, I'm very nonchalant when
It's
they do
crazy
that.
that's what
So they
think
don't
is
think
funny.
that it's. I'm sure if I would tell them how I feel, they would stop. But like, I'm fine with it.
Do you think it's your job to inform them?
No, I don't think it is.
No?
No, I don't. It's not my job. They old. They like what, 40, 30?
Oh,
They're old.
I mean,
They're older. Let me not. I don't want to offend nobody.
40 ain't that old.
I was thinking like 70 or
Yeah,
like 60.
you know.
60.
Wow, my bad. Because we
They
ain't too
old.
far away from
Yeah, I was
40.
gonna say, we're 5 years away from 30.
Don't say that. That's But no, they're older. But I don't feel like I should like tell them. You know. Well, I'm at work, so if I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're coworkers.
Yeah, they coworkers.
It don't really
so.
matter enough to talk to them.
It's not. It was a family member that's different.
Yeah,
or
like
a
I would
friend.
take the time to say no.
Yeah, but it's a coworker.
Shut the fuck up. But like, since they're like a coworker, I can't. Shut the fuck up.
And it's like they don't do it all the time. It's like here and there. So
Yeah, like it's. Yeah,
Well, how do you deal, Dev? What do you...
I mean, I'm a black gay man walking the streets of Miami, Florida. It's already a hassle, but like, I had to get used to being in not so friendly to homosexual environments. Like you hear the word faggot getting tossed around everywhere, man, and most of the time I'm just myself. Like Lisa said, I'm fortunate enough to be one of those people who you can't tell his orientation just by looking at them, and it's a sad thing that's a good thing in certain scenarios. But most of the time I'm myself. If I see, being gay and being out in public and being around other people, there are often times where I have to catch myself. I have to stop myself from saying certain things, or stop certain physical mannerisms. Sometimes you want to tell people that they're pretty. Sometimes you want to go up to certain individuals and let them know that you think they're beautiful, or maybe try to, talk to somebody. It's hard being gay, especially when you can't find a lot of us because you're too afraid to impose on the wrong person. Because like I said, in certain scenarios, being gay can be very safe, and being gay can be extremely dangerous. So I'm just myself. I try to be friendly and kind to everybody, because everybody in the 305 is already mad, and I don't want to add.
I miss
I
some
don't.
angry
People are
ass people
fucking
here.
mad here, and I don't get why. It's probably because nobody can drive, but I'm
Yes,
still
it's traffic.
That's
what
probably-
it
That's
is.
probably what
almost
it
got
is.
into an accident. Come ahead.
Right? But I just try to be myself, and I've noticed that with my sibling who is also homosexual, when we go out or when we would go places, it's a lot more. It's received better from her side than from my side. When people see her engage and do homosexual things, it's not. It's not like it's not just as
That's one of the most frustrating things.
and it really does.
Yeah.
It does irk me a lot that people are more receptive to gay women than gay men.
And it's not receptive.
It's not even not.
It's
It's
more
like
so like, oh, that's sexy.
yeah, it's sexy. They want to
That's
see
appealing.
it.
appealing,
Yeah.
and
They won't
it's
stop.
not
They won't
real.
stop two women from kissing. They won't stop two women from holding hands.
Because it's for the male gays. They
Yeah.
think it's for them.
Yeah.
And as long as,
Misogyny is so strong.
yeah, it's ridiculously strong.
It dives deep into other orientations. That's wild.
Ridiculously strong.
But yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a heavy dance community in Jacksonville, and dancers brings gays like from everywhere.
Right.
And almost every male that was a part of our dance community or academy was gay, and that's what I grew up with. I supported them in every event that they threw for gay awareness. And moving here to Miami, also a lot of people they accept their sexuality, so I never really had to kind of be in an awkward situation like
Even
that.
at work, like in the workspace you had?
No.
No, not like
No,
that.
because
Yeah.
my previous work history, it's been with an eclectic amount of people or types of people. So, my past manager, he was extremely gay, like the snaps and everything. And that's what I loved about him, because I told him, I was like, I grew up with a community that was very accepting of that, and it wasn't something different. They're not different. They are who they are. So that's where I was fortunate enough to kind of fall into those terms, like accepting that, acknowledging it, knowing that there are different communities in different cities that, accept gay people. Like, it is what it is. And it's not really, I don't even like saying gay people, it's just people.
Yeah.
These are people. These are people with feelings like you, like me, like everyone else. So for me, my thing is just like, for example, my mom the other day, she was like, do you know about pansexual? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I do. And I'm like, but in actuality, you really shouldn't think of it like that. Like, if you love someone, you are loving someone for who they are here. Like, their physicality should not matter. It really shouldn't. So yeah, it's a perk, different shit here and there, but I didn't have to go through that awkward jokes thrown around here and there. For me, it's just like, I bask in that type of shit.
I'll never understand the tolerance that comes with people and their coworkers when it comes to stuff like this. I cut the shit off real quick. Listen, we don't have to talk like this.
It ain't
You don't
that
need to
easy.
be involved in this part of my life.
It is not that easy for me. I've been in a lot of different areas because I work in the nonprofit sector, and a lot of the people who are in the nonprofit sector are there because they're Christians, because they feel like it is their duty to give back to people. So, and it also is a very like white area because white people want to be white saviors, and they want to save other people.
Bible dumpers.
So I'm like,
Bible thumpers, was that it?
dumpers. It was dumpers or
Dumpers.
Dumpers.
No,
Bible
dumpers.
Bible
Dumpers?
thumpers.
Yeah, dumpers.
I've heard dumpers.
Bible dumpers.
But
Dumpsters.
I go through that. I hear people say things, and it's more so of choosing your battles. And trust me, I feel like a complete asshole. I feel like a coward in some instances where I'm like, you know what, I should go the fuck off. I should tell you
But you saving
exactly.
But you saving your job.
The thing. Here's the thing.
It's not worth it.
Here's the thing.
It's worth
There
it.
are
I get it.
people.
It's
There
not
are
worth
people
it.
who are literally getting killed for being black.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said on my podcast, I am a queer black ass woman. So you think that the law is going to protect me at work? That I'm be able to go
Can't go to
against
HR,
these
yeah.
white people and say, "Oh, they hurt." Like they hurt my feelings. They are offending me, and you think that they're gonna say, "Oh, poor little black girl," like her feelings are hurt. Like you think they don't care about me? No, that's not the truth, and it sucks. It sucks, and I feel like a fucking coward.
My coworkers be
For
saying
real.
off the wall shit,
They
bro.
do.
One time, I won't say the name of the company, but I was at work and they knew I was gay, and this lady's curiosity piqued so much. She asked me if I've ever been molested before.
Oh my god, she was white.
Black,
Intrusive.
black woman.
Was she
Black
right?
woman.
Was she
Older black woman.
Yes, she was an older black woman.
That's their excuse for you to be
Right?
there.
That's
the
every
excuse.
gay person has been touched before. Like, you just can't
That's
just
crazy.
normally like men. Like,
No, I was born this way.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I cut the I'm not with the shits. I cut it off real quick. Don't talk to me about this. Stay out of my life, bitch. It's
But
not
that
your
was
fucking
intrusive as shit.
No, that was-
like that's like
How
direct.
did you react to that?
I was flabbergasted. I walked away. Like, I just walked off and went back
That's
to work.
ridiculous.
Because in my mind, like, did this bitch really just ask me this in the middle of we're on the floor? Like, there are customers here, and she just asked me like,
And she didn't know how you would react. You would have been like,
I was taken aback. I just went back to work. I should have came for a job, but you know what? I wasn't petty back then.
But now you are though.
Ooh,
But
so
it's
extra
here though.
strength. It's extra strength petty now.
It's like you though. What was your experience?
I've had good work experiences in general, but the one thing that I would say about work is now I teach yoga to kids, and being around the kids the way I look now, like I've been teaching yoga ever since I started. I have short hair, like I think I maybe I'm not passing anymore.
Yeah, this hair shit kind of give it away.
no, okay, side note, I used to have a huge fro. Extravagant
cool.
fro. And as soon as I cut it off, family members, friends are like, so what's going on in Miami? I'm like, it's hot as shit.
That has to do with that. That's
And
too
I was
much
just like,
earnings.
oh my God. And then when I would explain to them, like, it's just like it's a spiritual thing that I'm going through. It's also hot as fuck. in Miami. I don't want to sweat every time I step out of my house.
Yo,
I have asthma. I don't want my inhaler with me in my bag. And they're
Yo,
just
what's
like,
going on in
oh,
Miami?
okay. And then they're like, because we thought you were, gay or something. I'm like,
Well, thanks for clearing that up, because I mean, we were thinking.
Yo,
Yeah,
what's going on in
It's
Miami?
just
All right.
like, what's happening?
but yeah,
I'm sorry,
going back to
Camilla.
that.
It's okay. Good side note. And yeah, so working with kids, I feel anxious about. Usually, kids are really accepting, but I walked into a yoga class once. These kids were like 2 years old, 3 years old, and the little girl was like, "I don't like your hair," and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I just like kept going, but. It's interesting. Like I don't want their parent. I feel self-conscious around them because if I were to tell these kids what I really think, these conversations would come up about loving whoever, and I wanna infiltrate that into their education. But
It needs to be.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm scared. What if they're
Their
going
parents.
back to their parents and then
But the fact that is an actual factor is so scary. Like you're actually scared to share this
yourself,
knowledge with these children that this is how
You
this
will
is
get
the
fired.
world.
You will get fired.
Yes.
I have a friend in Mississippi who's a teacher, and she hears kids say "that's gay" all the time. I use the word "gay"
As a
And
derogatory term.
Yeah, like she is afraid to correct them because it's tiring. You would have to, obviously
tiring.
always do it in your class. Like, don't use that word, and this is why. So she's so afraid of exposing herself to judgment if she does that. I'm the same way. I teach kids. And we talked about this the other day. Like, I teach kids, and I'm always in front of them. I had a kid ask me last week if I had cancer. Because I don't have hair. Then they were like, "Oh, well, it ain't that
It's not, but I can just imagine them like
you right.
Do you have cancer? And you're just like,
No.
No.
How
did you not laugh immediately when you did that? Like, I would have died.
These are black kids, so there ain't no excuse me nothing.
I would have
It's-
died. I would have died.
It's more like you
died.
have cancer.
Why did they say that? They know they
And
want
then-
bald headed too.
But all I did was just look at them, and they was like, "Well, we asking that because you bald headed, you don't have no hair," and I was
Oh my
like,
god.
"Okay,
Oh my god.
all right."
I would have said yes.
But that's the thing. Like, I am bald headed, so it is not even like
You're
it's
not
even
bald
a
headed.
thing.
You have a shortcut.
Oh, correct them, baby. Go ahead.
Yes.
Anyway, but the whole thing is
That's
that
false.
I do want to do that. I do want to talk to kids about things. I do want to correct them on things, but there is like protocol at work and things that you do that you can get fired for saying.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
And I can make it as general as possible because I do have non-binary kids. I do have trans kids. I do. But
Their parents don't know that, do they?
their parents don't know.
Of course.
And because I look like this, because you look like that, it's helping. Because they're like, oh, this girl is different. My teacher is different. I feel she's different. I see that she's different. She got to be like me.
Yeah.
She has to be. And the way that the terms that I use, like they, them, their,
Yes.
when I say whoever it is that you love, when I say, oh, accepting yourself fully, when I say terms and I say things
I'm
like
talking
that,
to you.
I'm talking to
To
you.
you, little Emma.
And I am saying that you need to accept yourself and that it's okay for you to be who you are. But it is a very scary thing. And maybe I just need to rethink what sector I'm in. Because that is a very, I love doing what I do. I really, really do. But it's just, sometimes I have to consider the fact that it is tiring and that it does weigh on me emotionally to have to just be so careful of my words all the time and kind of police myself. So it's not other people doing it, it's me doing it to myself to make sure that I got a roof over my head and I get a check. Okay, but anyway, when and where did you find your community? When did you find a place that you could actually be yourself?
So, college, that happened. Right after college, I moved to New York, and I met an amazing person that I was with. And through that, there was a community there. But actually moving back to Miami now, after being gone for 6 years, I found my community, and it's called the Girls Lunchbox.
Shout out, Lunchbox. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out.
No,
Hey,
we do love
they're
this
dope.
Girls
They're dope.
Lunchbox.
That's how warming. That's how I met.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah,
That's how we met everybody. Besides Derek.
And
He's not a girl.
it's amazing. I really feel like I'm rediscovering Miami with a whole new lens because I grew up, as I said, in a high school that just didn't feel like me. And now I'm finding all these people that I'm like, yo, like, I feel so good about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really grateful for that.
What about you, Deverett?
When I was a very young gay, there was this place that was down the street from my house. It was called Pride Lines Youth Services, and it was just so gay friendly. It was like a little gay youth service where they had like gay workshops and they talked about sexual health and they had like nights where you could just come out and talk about your feelings and stuff. And it was so cool. I used to go there all the time when I was younger. My parents definitely knew I would go there, but I don't think they knew why until I came out. But yeah, man, it was cool. Living in Miami, there's a lot of gay-friendly spots around here. So if you're lucky, you can end up close to one of them. So I was fortunate enough to be very close to Pride Lines. And that place was subsequently the reason why I had my heart shattered on. But that's neither here nor there. So.
What about you?
I just had to throw it first. First heartbreak happened.
You don't want him to talk about that part?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. It's just,
Let's bring this up.
you never forget your first heartbreak.
Never.
You never forget.
What about you?
My dance community. My dance community when I was about 14 till 20. And then, honestly, when I moved down here, everyone was so accepting of wherever or whomever you are, like wherever you came from. And I want to say about a year ago, that's when I started becoming more involved in events like the Lunchbox, that they basically bring together all these people in this community that just want to know each other. We want to network with each other. And I think that's around the time where I was just like, okay, I feel very comfortable in this setting. So,
Well, yeah.
That's a good question. Right now, it has to be my friends. I don't have a lot of gay friends, but the ones I do have, I do feel safe, and I do feel like I could fully be myself around them. And my best friend, who's not gay, but she's accepting, she's a good community to have. And of course, my girlfriend is another good, supporter. And the Lunchbox, actually, I just discovered that place a couple of weeks ago, and most likely I'm gonna be a member there. So, good vibes. So,
Yeah, you need to do that.
Yeah.
Become a member.
Okay.
But I found my community. Where did I find my community? I found it in college. Just with Black queer people. Whenever I met one, I just felt like home. And I say that specifically because I just don't feel okay in white queer spaces. I don't feel it's so different.
It's completely different.
It really, really, really is. And I'm so happy that that Naja and Octavia started this Girls Lunchbox. Like, that's ridiculously good. And I'm even more happy that DJ Dimple started Sweet Heat, because that's amazing as shit too. So there's a lot of things going on here in Miami that I'm really happy about. And I wish it was something like that in Mississippi. Maybe I can start something like that in Mississippi, but like I wish it was, but it's just not happening. It's not there yet. But the last question is, what would you tell someone who is struggling with accepting their sexuality? What would you say?
I'll go first. It's okay to be afraid of just being who you are, but at the end of the day, it's your life to live, and you shouldn't let people's opinions determine how you're going to live your life. You should just be true to yourself, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's okay. Love who you want to love, and just be yourself.
It's, like, accept your feelings because there is a reason why you're feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
And try your hardest if you're not in a city that has a large community that are amongst other individuals like yourself. Try to find that, because that will be your holding ground. So, yeah. What about you?
I would say just just live free. You know, just live with a sense of freedom. Like, I would almost go so far as to call it a sense of entitlement, because you are entitled to be happy. You deserve love and joy, and it will feel like you don't. But that's where the entitlement should come in. Right there, you should actually, I do. You know, these people say I shouldn't, but actually I do. Like, I can love whoever I want to love. I can be whatever makes me happy. And I don't know if you guys remember, there was this thing that was going around called "It Gets Better."
Yes.
It actually really does.
Yeah, it does get better.
One day at a time.
It does. It takes time though, but it really does get a lot better. The closet is real comfortable, but it's way more fun out of it. Trust me. So, live free.
What about you, Kamala?
For me, I think part of coming out was a process of letting go of my own fear of difference outside of me. So like, I had to overcome fear and hate as a concept. And I think when you go through this process of being queer and coming out, you have to you just have to fill yourself with love, like really fill yourself with love, and realize that as humans, like, the only reason why we hate is because we're afraid, and the only reason we're afraid is because we don't love. Like, it's just the counterbalance of opening your heart to things that feel unfamiliar and feel uncomfortable. And I think that's a really amazing process to go through, whether it's for being gay or anything that makes you feel that kind of hate. And I would just say that we're waiting for you.
Yeah.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To add on to that, there is a bunch of gay people, so you're not alone. If you feel like you're alone, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're
Even the places you don't
everywhere.
think we are.
Oh, they're gay.
We're there. Trust us.
And if you don't think they are,
Oh, they probably gay.
We're everywhere.
We're all gay.
Your fave is probably
Your fave is probably gay. Just
definitely gay.
start.
All right. Thank you guys so much
Oh, thank you
for talking to
Thank
me
you, Lisa.
about this. I am very, very happy that you joined me and talked about your experience. I hope that there's someone somewhere that hears this and it helps. Gay people, this is what happens. All right. Thank you, and please join us next time on Grrrl Uninterrupted. Bye. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Grrrl Uninterrupted. You can catch us at Grrrl_Uninterrupted, or you can catch me at Lisa Giles, Giles, with like 4 extra S's at the end, and we can get right back to you. You can catch up with us, and we would love to work with you, and we would also like to know any topics you would want us to cover. So we hope to hear from you soon.